This is the Northwest Tank Line Super Bowl show coming to you from Radio Row, Mandalay Bay Hotel, Super Bowl 58. And it's the 49ers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Our next guest knows all about this week, as he was the winning coach in Super Bowl 35 when his Baltimore Ravens knocked off the New York Giants. And that, my friends, was the very first Super Bowl this show was at, the first of 23. Brian Billick is our guest. He's here today promoting the good folks at Signal Relief. We'll get into that as well. But, yeah, that was my first Super Bowl.
How about that? Yeah. That's going back. My Super Bowl was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Think about that. It goes quick.
Hey, before we move along, and it's a sad note, but man, oh man, losing Goose this year.
Oh, gosh.
It's funny, the very first Super Bowl, I remember this Goose story. So media day at the hotel, Goose is sitting at a table. He's in this chair. He looks like, a kid in grade 3 because the chair's so low to the ground. This Japanese reporter walks up to him, and he says, "Mr. Siragusa, my name is," I can't remember the name, but obviously a very Japanese name. Goose he goes, "I am from Japan." Goose looks at him and goes, "I thought you were from Jersey." The whole
that
room
would be Goose.
It just but losing Tony. I mean, we had so many fun times with him during this.
People always talk to me about that team, and Ray Lewis obviously was the undisputed leader in this, but Tony in his way, because Tony was a pain in the ass to coach, because this guy burned it at both ends. But I tell you what, you loved having him as a player, because when it was time to work, he would work. So he could keep that team loose, focused, passionate, all the things going on. But when it came time to practice or in meetings, it's time to work. And he could, and then game day, just same way. His ability, because the players knew him for what he was, gregarious, a lot of things going on, and the whole 9 yards. But so when he was going, okay, guys, it's time to work, they would listen.
Was he the one that started the whole Festivus thing? You told the team, we're not talking about Super Bowl. Was he the one that started?
No, it was interesting, because to remind people, it was, I had really challenged the players. We're not talking, you don't have the right to talk playoff until we get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that was because we had won a game, and we needed to win one more game to guarantee the playoffs. And so I wanted the players, I was kind of challenging them. So I said, I don't want to hear this. It's courthouse, kangaroo court rules. I'm going to fine you. If I hear anybody talk about playoffs before we qualify, you're going to be held to pay. Well, that same day, the league had notified our ticket office, you can start selling playoff tickets. So my guy comes to me and goes, well, how do I sell playoff tickets without saying the word playoff? I go, well, figure it out. That's why you make the big bucks, because this applies to the whole organization. So he was a Seinfeld fan, so they came up with selling Festivus.
Was it Chad, was it?
No,
Still,
no.
okay, yeah.
It was I'm going to draw a blank.
That's
here.
all right.
So we were selling Festivus Maximus. We called it Festivus Maximus, which was a totally fake holiday. And then the players, I think it was one of our players, then started working up, and it should have been Tony because he's such an entrepreneur, the Festivus Maximus shirts.
Oh, wow.
So we got to the point where we didn't even call it playoffs from that point on. It was Festivus Maximus. It was great.
The good thing I'm going to mention, too, a Goose story before we start talking about some of the things here with pain relief. Speaking of pain relief, Goose, God rest his soul. We're in Detroit. Chris Burns and myself are waiting in the hotel lobby, and we're waiting for a lift, and we're going to the media party, right? It's Tuesday night. Goose pulls up in this big Escalade with all his Jersey boys, and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" "We're going to the media party." "No, you're not. We're going to Canada. You're coming with us." And then we went off to Windsor, and that was an experience in itself.
Yeah, that would be. Going out with Tony, I don't know how to advise that. That's not for rookies.
He was just a great, great human being, and we miss him dearly. Coach, let's talk about your activity here on Radio Row. Tell us a little bit about pain relief.
You know what? This company came to me about 6 months ago, and I get a lot of people pitching a lot of things to me. This is the real deal. Signal Relief, it's a patch. Now, it's not a TENS unit. It's reusable, so it's very affordable. And the thing I love about it, it works on electrical waves. Basically, pain is an electrical wave. And we say put it between pain and the brain. And what it does is it blocks the electrical signal of the brain. That allows you then to do, that's where the real rehab comes from, is when you can work your muscles and joints through that prohibitive pain. That's where the rehab comes. And this is the real deal. It blocks that pain. It allows you to work through it. You put it wherever you need it. I'm 18 holes of golf. It's going on my lower back. If I get out of the pool, it's on my shoulder or my upper back to help mitigate that pain that allows me to continue to work the joints and the muscles. It's 100% money-back guarantee. You put it where you need it, signalrelief.com. Put in promo code COACH, you get 20% back. This is the real deal.
And, of course, it's available on Amazon in Canada, and also you can check out the website as well, signalrelief.com. Reduces the impact of pain so you can get back to life without limitations. I'm looking forward to maybe trying this.
It's a real deal.
Well, my knees both are
absolutely
need to be replaced.
And you figure out where you put it. Like when I'm on the pickleball court or racquetball in my elbows, I've learned I put it up a little higher. Because, again, you put it where you block it. This is the real deal. You need this because you need the adhesives. Very affordable. Because you can use it for an entire year.
Coach, let's talk about this Super Bowl. Of course, as we mentioned, you were part of a Super Bowl winning team as the head coach of the Ravens. You look at this week, and what's the biggest challenge for Kyle Shanahan and for Andy Reid?
For every coach, it's to make the week feel as normal as possible. Which is hard because there's all of this, Radio Row, everything that is Las Vegas of all things. To get them to understand, look, meetings are meetings. Practice is practice. The game actually, once the game kicks off, it's the same game we have won and we've done time and again to get here. So the fundamentals of what we're doing, and we know how to do this, okay? It's dealing with the other stuff. And not getting drawn into that, and not getting drawn into the emotion to where you're peaking too early. You gotta help them mitigate that by trying to hold that stuff off as best you can, knowing it's going to happen. Even to the point where you got to prepare them for the game. The game isn't different, but pregame is. Halftime is now 20 minutes. How are we going to deal with halftime?
Yeah.
We stretched. We came in, did what you normally do, then re-stretched as a team in the locker room, then did and kind of a placebo, basically just to give them the idea, yeah, we got this handled, we know what we're doing, and get back to what we know we can do, which is meet, practice, and play.
Super Bowl winning coach Brian Billick is our guest. Everyone thinks it's about the team, and you talked about that routine. To me, it's the ultimate test of your organization.
Oh, no question.
Like, people always say, it's the team. No, man, this is about making sure your players aren't looking for Super Bowl tickets on Friday. They don't have to worry about getting hotel rooms for their in-laws. It's your film guys trying to make that practice routine that you have, say, in Baltimore with you guys, and you go to Tampa for a game. Now it's like, we're going to try to make it as close as we can to that routine that we have at home. And everyone is tested.
Huge part of the organization. I remember we were in Tampa, and everything was in the hotel. The administrative level was on the second floor, and then we had meetings on the third. So we were all in the hotel. And like every coach, I'm trying to stay on top of things, so I'd make a run through the administrative. And David Modell, God rest his soul, told all the administrative people, guys, now you know the way coach is. He's going to be down here. He says, I don't care if there are bodies in the closet. I don't care if cars are blown up. I don't care if clean. When he comes through, the answer, fine, coach, no problem, we're good. Whatever it is he's checking on, we're good. Okay, keep him focused, the players focused, and it was great. They did a great job organization because it is important. They're a big part of just what I said. Keep it as normal as possible so it feels as comfortable as possible.
I've always said this, when you get to the stage that I'm at, and I'm sure you're probably at the same stage, you don't root for teams, but you root for people. Anybody in this game that,
oh gosh, there's just Andy went to school at BYU. I coached Andy not directly, but he was on the JV team when I was up there, and obviously coming out of BYU. Kyle Shanahan, know his dad. And every staff. You're right. At this point, there's somebody on the staff, a coach or player that you have. Christian McCaffrey, I coached his dad, Ed, at Stanford. So
wow.
Yeah, now I kind of lean towards San Francisco because of my time there and some of the ties there, but. You're right. Every team has somebody that you're involved with that makes the game interesting because you're rooting for everybody.
Oh, who do you like in the game and why?
For me, at the end of the day, it comes back to, and I think it sums it up, San Francisco has all the elements to win the game. But when you go through it, well, they're going to run the ball with Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, but Patrick Mahomes. Well, but when they do that, they'll get the big play to Kittle, and they'll have, Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And the defense can put a four-man rush on and say, Patrick Mahomes. It's kind of the catch-all. That's really going to be the wild card. Is Patrick Mahomes going to be able to be what Patrick Mahomes is, which is like something we've probably never really seen before, or San Francisco that has all the elements to keep the ball away from them, run the ball, put them behind the eight ball, make them press a little bit, make them get away from their running game a little bit. They're capable of doing that. Will they?
I think I learned my lesson in the game against the Ravens, and everyone was talking about that game, when Baltimore did, and their defense and this. But it was like you said, but Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the same holds true. If I look at this game and break it down, I'd probably give the edge to 49ers.
Absolutely.
But Patrick Mahomes. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, before we let you go, you told us a little factoid. Your sister lives in Bowen Island.
Yeah, she's been
so
there
you come up to Vancouver quite often?
Absolutely, God's country, beautiful up there. I was just saying, I didn't know where do I go play golf now? Because I'm obsessed. I've played it for 2 years now. I'm obsessed with it.
Okay,
obsessed with the game.
So if you're going to play golf, I've got some people. Vancouver Golf Club. To me, of all the private courses,
fabulous.
There's a few of them. Point Grey, Marine Drive, Shaughnessy, but my favorite is Vancouver. Tree-lined fairways.
Oh, God.
Greens that are like ice rinks sometimes.
Hey,
so,
that's my bailiwick now. We live up in Minnesota in the summer from May to October up near the Canadian boundary waters, so it's very much like Vancouver. And it's 3 of the most beautiful courses, but you bring some balls now.
Yeah.
Because you're either going to be in the woods or you're going to be in the lake.
Well, tell you what, I got your number, and I know some people.
We'll
Kyle Clark, one of our sponsors from Clark Woods LLP, he's got.
We'll do
He's a member at Vancouver. We'll take you to Vancouver.
Would love to do
next time you're in. How often do you come up? Well, once a year?
Yeah, it's been less and less. I'm in Columbus now, where the grandkids are, and so they got a lot going on. And then we're up in Minnesota during the summer. But my sister, and she's spending more and more time down in Southern California. She's at that age where those winters are a little tough on her.
Yeah.
So, but love it. God, just love going up there.
Next time we'll talk Blue Jackets with you.
We'll do it.
Hey, Coach, thanks for doing this. All the best.
All right, guys.